No issues.
Mukesh, at the outset, let me thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me this chance to interact. Firstly, with the brother of a batchmate. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, may I just point out to all of you, Mukesh's elder brother Arun and I were postmates from the NDA. We go back a long, long, long time, and
That is
he is
right.
one of the bravest of our brave hearts. He is one boy from our batch who got the Paramveer Chakra, was the first to get the Paramveer Chakra posthumously, and then our batch got an Ashok Chakra, that is Colonel NJC Nair. So this is the batch that has two of the highest gallantry awards in the country, two of the highest gallantry awards. So I'm very, very grateful just for this chance because I get to be with Mukesh, and in him I see his elder brother, PVC, Paramveer Chakra posthumous.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just like at the very outset to tell you that generally it is considered that the corporate sector and the armed forces have so little in common. Because one is based on the profit motive, the other is based on the sacrificial motive, the altruistic motive, the highest altruism of laying down your life for the flag and country if required. And so, what is common? One hell of a lot. Because I have been taking a
Okay.
number of these corporate talks and leadership, motivation, etc. And I keep telling people there is so much in common that you would be surprised. The first thing in common is
Uh-huh.
that both we in the corporate sector and those in the military, we don't merchant theories. We deal with facts. We have to change facts on the
Right.
ground. We are given
Right.
targets which are absolutely achievable, clearly definable. There is no theory involved in that. Either you captured Tiger Hill by 0600 hours in the morning or you have not. Either you have achieved the targets for in quantitative terms set to you in terms of sales or you have not. There is no
Hmm.
second, third way around it. There is no disambulation around it. We don't market merchant theories. We deal with hard facts and we change things on the ground, both in the military and the corporate sector. We are given set targets. If I am in CICT ops, I have to kill terrorists. I have to show their dead bodies. I have to show that I have gone in for command and control attrition. So many district commanders, so many divisional commanders, so many area commanders killed. You know, then negative indices. How many civilians killed in my area? How many IEDs went off
Right.
in my area, etc., etc. So, we have to achieve hard set
Right.
targets and we have to
That,
deliver
yeah.
results. We have to deliver results. That is what is common. About the
Yeah.
ethos, if
Well
I
said,
may
sir. Well
be
said. Hmm.
permitted, and if I can fast forward, the ethos of the armed
Yes.
forces is summed up in three
Yes.
words: Naam, Namak, Nishan. Let me explain. What is Naam? Naam
Right.
is the good name, your own good name first. Your own honor and your izzat. The
Right.
izzat of your paltan, the izzat
Uh-huh.
of your country.
Oh,
Right? That is Naam. That is
right.
Naam. We fight for our
Hmm.
Naam. We fight for our Namak.
Right.
यू नो मेरा घर का चूल्हा
Uh-huh.
सरकार के पैसे से चलता है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के
Uh,
पैसे से चलता है.
uh,
I will be loyal to the government of India till my dying
hmm.
day, till the time I
Hmm.
breathe my last. And you
Hmm.
can also say in your particular corporate group, मेरा घर का चूल्हा Reliance or whichever
Hmm.
company that you are उसके पैसे से चलता है.
Hmm.
Therefore, I will be loyal to my salt.
Right.
I will be loyal to my
Hmm.
namak. So Naam,
Hmm.
Namak,
Hmm. Hmm.
Nishan.
Hmm.
Nishan is your flag, the
Hmm.
Gideon of
Hmm.
your regiment, right?
Hmm.
And I must
Hmm.
explain why we are so, attached to this piece of tattered silk, right?
Right.
In the old times, Mukesh,
Yeah. Hmm.
when a regiment took up defense, the
Right.
regimental flag was planted in the center.
Yes.
And as long as there was the last man standing, one man standing in the whole bloody unit, he had to
Right.
see that that flag was upright and it was flying proudly in the breeze. It
That's
could
right.
not be allowed to fall. There
Yes.
is
Yes.
no way that a regimental standard
Hmm.
will touch
Hmm.
the ground, will
Hmm.
fall. That's
Hmm.
the ultimate disgrace. That means before
Hmm.
that, every man of the unit should have died.
Hmm.
before the
Sir,
regimental Gideon
if
can fight.
if I may say, I saw one such regimental flag that Pune Horse, my brother's regiment, had got, and it had 13 bullet holes in it. And I'm told that 10 people died because if one person got shot, then the other person would rush to the flag and put it up, and then he died, and the third person and the fourth, and 10 people, and there 13 bullet holes in that flag, sir. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. You said it, Mukesh. That's
Right,
the way it is. And that is
right,
what people don't understand. How
huh,
to, we give such a lot of value
right,
to these, what shall I say, abstract entities which are concretized.
right,
The country is a vast entity, but it is concretized in your flag. It is
right,
concretized in your tricolor. The
right,
regiment is also a large entity. It may have so many battalions, so many regiments, of armor and so many tank regiments, etc. But it
right,
is concretized in that regimental flag. And
right,
that flag is the symbol of all value, the repository of all value. And
right,
what it teaches you is the
right,
transcendental ethic, the self transcending ethic, that I
right,
transcend myself in the service of
right,
my country. The
right,
I, me, myself is
right,
given the go by as I align myself with higher goals, higher
right.
values. You know,
So
and
if I may just, take a minute and say, in the armed forces, how come they live it in the manner that you're saying? Because in the corporate world, when you talk about Namak, people here, get 5,000 rupees more and he jumps his job here. I mean, they aren't able to kind of uphold that nishan or that pride or, that you are able to, imbibe in the troops. And why is it that, what is it that you are doing different that we in the corporate are fail to do?
Exactly. I think that's a very pertinent question, Mukesh. The simple fact is that, in the armed forces, you get commissioned into a particular regiment. Then you
Right.
serve it till your life, till you
Uh-huh.
reach that, or you go to higher ranks, or you retire from there, right? You
Right.
serve it for 20, 25 years. We are with the same outfit, with the same flag, with the same Gideon,
Hmm.
with the same set of boys, with the same set of officers. So, therefore, the bonding is very deep, very intimate, and it is
Hmm.
long lasting. As
Hmm.
you rightly pointed out, in the corporate sector nowadays, you don't
Right.
have that affiliation with one particular company for your life. Your
Right.
way to promotion is through hopping jobs, is through changing jobs. So, to
Right.
that extent, those deep bonds, I am afraid, are not formed as are
Yes.
formed in a particular unit of the
Right.
military.
Right.
But what I would like to say is that a counter motivating factor, since it is so individual, should be,
Hmm.
what the Gita says. How do you self transcend? You self
Uh,
transcend yourself through your work. What is yoga? Yoga is skill
uh-huh.
in actions.
Hmm.
Yoga is
Hmm.
skill in action.
Hmm.
I am the best sales manager that was ever born. Show me
Hmm.
somebody who can do better, and I'll eat my hat. You see,
Uh-huh.
so when
Huh.
even if you have to change, organizations, your ethos,
Right.
your personal ethos goes with you. Your
Right.
quest for
So
excellence,
sense
your
of
pursuit for
so if I may
excellence.
say, yes, the sense of pride in your work and you're able to excel in that, and that is what can will kind of hold you good. Is that what you're saying, sir?
That is precisely what I'm saying. That
I
you
see.
have to have your sense of personal values. That these
Right.
are my values. I
Right.
deliver.
Right.
I uphold my commitments. I
Right.
give better than my best.
Right.
Wherever I go,
Right.
I'm faithful to my salt. I'm faithful to
Uh-huh.
my salt. Till as
Right.
long as I am being, I serve this company, this outfit, this
Right.
corporate, I will be 110% loyal to it. More than
Right.
that,
Right.
and I
Right.
will self actualize in the
Right.
pursuit of my work. I will
Right.
self actualize. I will be the best that there is,
Right.
and nobody will be able to tell me that he is a better professional than I am, possibly.
Uh-huh.
I think
Uh-huh.
that is the ethos which can be a
Okay.
very great motivating factor,
So,
and it is right from your Indian ethos,
right.
the
Right.
ethos of the Gita.
Right.
Management lessons from the Gita, if you have to take. This is one
Yes.
of the lessons that I would leave with our Indian,
For sure, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
compatriots from the corporate sector.
Yeah. So the point about ethos is well taken, sir. Tell us something about the quality of the leadership, because I find that I mean, this recent example, we had the Colonel Santosh
Santosh
Babu.
Babu.
you kind of, led from the front. What is it that, the leaders do differently that we in the corporate world can also, take some inspiration from?
I think that's again a very pertinent question. And what I would say is that the basics of all leadership in the army is summed up by two words:
Uh-huh.
follow me.
Oh,
Don't do as I tell you to do. Do
I
as I
see.
do. Don't tell
Okay.
me as I tell you to do. Do as
Right.
I do. Follow me. And in
Okay.
Hindi, it is translated into three words:
Uh,
Mere piche move. In the
uh-huh.
battlefield, a commander
Uh,
gives only these, three words as orders. He moves forward himself, and the whole
right.
regiment follows him in single file. That means
Right.
what he's telling them is, you can take cover behind my broad shoulders. All of
Uh-huh.
you, 1000 of
Right.
you can take cover behind my broad shoulders. I lead the way. You
Right.
follow me. You do as I do. So my
Right.
advice to the corporate boys is, you've
Right.
got to deliver just like we have to deliver under a lot of stress. Your stress may be
Right.
different. My stress may be physical,
Right.
stress. Yours could be time stress.
Right.
The work stress, etc.
Right.
Environmental pressures, the stress of the boss, looking for
Right.
deadlines. But
Right.
you are also dealing with stress, and the body doesn't differentiate between my stress and your stress. The biochemical reality is the same. The adrenaline surge is the same. Whether it is a tiger attacking you, whether it is a
Right.
Pakistani soldier charging for you, or your boss shouting at you. You see, the adrenaline stress, please understand this, is the same, is the same. The
Right.
biochemical reaction within the
Right.
body is the same,
I
and you
see.
could get ulcers too in the corporate sector. So you are quite similar to us. You have to overcome your fears, you have to overcome your fear of failure,
Right.
your caution. You have to be where the action is.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but
Don't look for reports on this thing. If there is
right.
a crisis, just get there.
Yes.
Get
But
there, take charge.
just to stay on the leadership part, why is it that the Jawans, the troops follow the kind of leader? What is it that, gives them the confidence that this leader will not, kind of take us into, a wrong kind of a position? Why?
Absolutely.
How does he command that respect? I mean, what does he do that, the Jawan will kind of, has complete confidence that, the orders that are being given will be complied for without any question?
Mukesh, that's, I think our whole life is spent in training. The whole
Uh,
life of that army officer, his men, is spent in training for that one day of combat, for that one final day where they will
right,
have to deliver, right?
right,
So there is the emphasis on professionalism. The army officers do so many courses to polish up their professional knowledge. And he
uh,
says with pride, I am the best professional. If he's teaching his men how to fire their
right,
rifles, their AK-47, the Kalashnikovs, the way he
right,
does it is that he learns it himself so
right,
good that when the
right,
boys are firing on the range, he just gets, he said, look
right,
at me. I'm
right,
putting every bullet in the bloody wool. I'm not wasting a shot.
right.
Do it like I am doing. I am the professional.
Good,
Therefore,
sir.
that faith comes. This guy is good.
Yeah. So
He will never let us down.
practice.
He is the guy who will keep us alive.
Yeah,
Sometimes in the
yeah,
battlefield, your
yeah.
greatest motivation is to stay alive.
Right. No, but
And therefore, if the boys know, here's a guy who knows his beans,
right.
he will keep us alive. We just have to do what he tells us to do. So,
So, but
professionalism of a
yeah,
very high order,
right,
professional
right,
knowledge
right,
of the
right,
ultimate sort, that
right,
is what makes men
right.
follow you, because you are then
Yeah,
able to give that
right.
live example. And
So
while I
what,
was saying this,
right. So one more thing
so,
that comes to my mind that I can see is that, the care and concern. I mean, you don't you marry your family is the army becomes your family, the regiment becomes your family. Is that right, sir? I mean,
that is
you're married into the
absolutely,
regiment. And you the care and concern that you exhibit is how do they what is it that they do there?
what they do really is that there is an ecosystem that is constructed, which is all
Right.
for one for all.
I
All
see.
for one for all. That means
Right.
one of the first things that the regiment assures you is, look, boy, in this regiment, we don't leave our dead and wounded behind.
Uh-huh.
We carry them with us, whether you have to carry them for 30 miles on your back. But
Right.
you will carry your dead and wounded back.
Right.
You will never let them down. You will never let them fall to the enemy. If they
Right.
become prisoners, you'll do your damnedest to see that they get out. They are
Yeah.
brought out.
Right.
This is the
Right.
kind of commitment that is one for all and all for one. And we have a kind of a system called the buddy system.
Right.
Every chain has got a whole lot of links. And if each
Okay.
link is strong, the link that in the army is there is the buddy system. Me and my buddy. I'll
Right.
cover his back, he'll cover mine, and we go into battle together. We come
Right.
out together, we live together, we die together.
Uh-huh.
That is the kind of bonding that comes year after year. And your
Right.
concern for your men is paternal. When I was
Uh-huh.
a second lieutenant, I
Right.
was trained, I was taught by the local ethos. I was about 20, 21 years old, and my
Right.
boys were 40, 45, and my JCOs were 50. But you know
Right.
what I used to call them? Kaka.
Huh.
Kaka means young boy, lad. So, I found it initially very incongruous that guy had white hair, he had 3 children, and here was I, a bachelor of 20 years old, but calling him Kaka because of
Huh.
the regimental ethos, because I am supposed to look after him like I
Right.
would after my own son, perhaps better than my own son.
Uh-huh.
That is the basis of that bonding. That
Right.
that commitment for your rank and file,
Yeah.
that dedication to your rank and file. The Chetwood motto sums it all up so beautifully.
Uh-huh.
The honor, safety, and welfare of your country come first,
Right.
always
Right.
and every time. The honor
Right.
and welfare of the men you command comes next. Notice he didn't say safety, because you may have to lead them to their deaths. Right?
Mhm.
Your own ease, comfort, and safety come last, always and every time. These are golden words in Chetwood.
Yeah,
Golden words of the
so if I
Chetwood
may
motto.
just say, unfortunately, I've spent all my life in the corporate world. It works, completely the opposite in the corporate world. The, the leader thinks, it's this thing first, and then somebody else. And this thing of trying to stand up for your comrade, in terms of the teamwork that you're able to imbibe in the armed forces, sadly is not, so predominant in the corporate world. And that's where, we could learn a lot from the armed forces.
Of course, there is so much to say about osmosis of good values.
Right.
Let me be quite upfront. Mukesh,
Right.
the simple fact is Peter Drucker. Where
Right.
did he get his management theories from? From the Second
Uh-huh.
World War practices being followed by the armed forces. Huge bodies of men and material were moved across the Atlantic, across the Pacific. Millions of tons of equipment, millions of men were moved
Right.
across the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans.
Right.
All the management theories of Peter Drucker come from there. So actually,
Right.
very few people remember that a lot of management parlance practice has come from the armed forces. It's another thing now that it is now seeping back to the armed forces from the corporate sector, and we also,
Right.
get a lot of management gurus to speak to us at
Yeah.
the College of Defense Management, at the
Right.
Higher Command course, National
Right.
Defense College, etc., etc. But
Right.
it is a process of osmosis. We learn from
Right.
one another, and we
Right.
try and adopt the best practices that are
Yes.
available on both
Yes.
sides. And I think there's a lot to be said about team building as we do it in the armed forces.
That's right.
Team building
That's
in the armed forces,
Right.
cohesive teams,
Right.
And it was said of the German army
Right.
that units decimated to the extent of 85% retained
Uh-huh.
their combat cohesion. Right? 85% boys of a unit killed, and that unit
Right.
still functions. That is the ultimate in combat cohesion. Japanese units, the same was said of them. And some Indian units have also achieved this kind of a thing. Even our own Azad Hind Fauj under Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, they
Right.
also achieved this. All units decimated,
Right.
destroyed more or less,
Right.
70%, 80% destruction, and yet the combat cohesion is maintained.
Right. The other factor also that in battle, is it the strength of or the technology that the other side brings with them, or is it the people who make the difference?
Yeah.
What is it that carries for you?
There is a lot to be said about technology, but in
Right.
our army, we firmly believe that you can get the best of technology, but if you don't have the bloody will to fight, I'm afraid you're not going to deliver. It's the man behind the gun that
Uh-huh.
matters the most. It's the man
Right.
behind the gun that
Right.
really matters. It is his, ultimately the best fighting equipment is
Hmm.
that little organ in your chest, which is called your heart. आपका दिल कितना तगड़ा है. How much of a fight have you got there?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that was you can have we had the Pakistanis with patterns, and with
That's
our
right.
World War II Shermans in the
Uh-huh.
1965 war, we clobbered them. The patterns
Yes.
again came against your brother, and with
Yes.
his old Centurions, he was
That's
able to
right.
bash the daylights out of them. With his
Right.
one tank, he destroyed 5 enemy tanks
Right.
before he took a hit himself and he
Right.
laid down his life. But he
Right.
stopped the whole regimental
Right.
attack of the Pakistanis. The
Right. Right.
Pakistanis may have thought they had the best American tanks, the best
Right.
American artillery, guns, etc. Their
Right.
sabers didn't stand up to
Yeah.
our nats, if you
Yeah.
remember.
So
The
what
nats
you're
and the
saying is
saber dogfights.
that's right. So what you're saying is this: the man behind the weapon. I mean, the more recent example is Abhinandan. Vartaman. Where he took on the
Absolutely,
F-16 with a MiG. Fighter aircraft, which is
absolutely,
generations behind the
Mukesh.
F-16.
You hit the nail on the head. Here
Right.
is Mukesh Abhinandan,
Right.
with a 1960s vintage MiG 21, who
Right.
takes on one of the latest American fighters, the F-16, which is still going
Right.
strong,
Right.
and he shoots it down.
Right.
Even as he shot down by ground fire, he goes
Right.
into enemy territory, gets a
Right.
lock on, and gets that F-16 down with a
Right.
1960s vintage
Right.
MiG
Right.
21, man. That's
Right.
that's like
Right.
jaunting jalopy of the
That's
of
right.
the
That's right.
40s or 50s, beating
Yeah.
a Jaguar in a competition. But that's the way
Right.
it is.
But again,
You
in the
know,
corporate world, also, sir, what happens is that I have seen that you may be having a lesser brand, but if the leader is able to kind of lead the team well, then it is the person that makes the difference. And that's what is critical in the success of a product in the marketplace. Much like you would say was happening in the armed forces. Am I right?
absolutely, absolutely. You see, the winning team is not necessarily the team with the best equipment. Because that's
Right.
what that has been our experience in the armed forces. Of course,
Right.
technology helps. Of course, you
Yes.
must be leaders in technology. Of course,
Of
you
course.
must keep ahead in the technology cycle. Try and
Right.
keep ahead. But what I'm
Right.
saying is, if the other guy, if the other brand is better, I mean, it is a Japanese brand or it is a Korean brand, but an
Right.
Indian brand may still beat it. An Indian
Right.
brand may still beat it with the right sales strategy, the right sales pitch. For
Right.
example, let me just put it to you. You may have the cheapest of Chinese, televisions and washing machines and
Yeah.
mobiles,
Yeah.
but you just have to play the patriotism card today, man,
Right.
and you will rip the Chinese apart.
Oh
You
yeah.
will rip the Chinese apart, even though your
Right.
product is costlier, even
Right.
though your product is not as savvy, even though your
Right.
product may not have the latest features with the Chinese have been able
Right.
to steal from A, B, or Z,
Right.
but you will still beat them in competition because now you've used a winning strategy. You use the
Hmm.
winning strategy, be Indian, buy Indian,
Yeah. No,
and there you
but
are.
but talking about strategy and leadership, sir, because I remember yesterday you told me something that the role of the leader is to think, three steps in front,
Absolutely,
in
absolutely,
today's modern
absolutely.
warfare. Isn't that right? Yeah. Would you
You
like to enlarge on that?
you again hit the nail on the head and you hit it between the eyes. You know what we say in the armed forces?
Right.
Why are generals paid more than soldiers? Because the
Hmm.
general is paid to think 10 years ahead, 15 years
Hmm.
ahead.
Hmm.
The brigadier is paid to think at least 6 months ahead. The colonel
Right.
must be at least a month ahead of the
Right.
ongoing contact battle. You
Right.
have to develop vision. You must
Right.
be a visionary leader. You
Right.
must anticipate change. You must
Right.
not be pushed by change. You must
Right.
not be pummeled by change. You must
Hmm.
lead the change. You must be the change that you want to see. And for that, the first requirement is to be a visionary leader. An
Right.
organization will do roaring well if it has a visionary leadership that looks
Right.
ahead, that
Right.
anticipates,
Right.
that thinks 5 move or 6 or 10 moves ahead on the chessboard.
Right.
10 moves ahead on the chessboard, it is always prepared. It is never caught by surprise.
Right.
It is
Right.
never taken, with his pants
Right.
down.
Right.
because it is a leadership that looks ahead, that thinks ahead, that
Right.
plans ahead.
Right.
That is the winning
Right.
leadership. And
In
then it is
this,
able to set
yes,
goals. You know,
yes.
what we say in the army, the Germans had a word called Auftragstaktik, mission
Uh-huh.
style orders, right?
Right.
This is, I define, this is my goal, this is my mission, this
Right.
is where I want you to get to. Now I don't micromanage beyond that. You are
Uh-huh.
free. The corporals and captains are then
Right.
free to lead with their recon pull.
Right.
I want you to get to Moscow. How you get
Right.
there is not my business.
Right.
Right? I will
Right.
not micromanage and breathe down your neck every 5 minutes asking
Right.
for a report. Right? I
Right.
will expect you to think on your feet. I
Right.
will expect you to innovate. I will
Right.
expect you to deliver results more than
Yeah.
was told to you. And
Yeah.
while
Because
on that
yeah.
one, let
Right.
me just give you a very interesting story, Mukesh,
Sure.
from
Yeah.
our military lore. In the
Right.
Second World War, the
Right.
German army
Uh-huh.
was advancing into France and onto the Seine River. There were a
Right.
number of Seine bridges on the Seine River, but the
Right.
Germans anticipated, like
Right.
all prudent enemies, the
Right.
French would blow up the bridges.
Uh-huh.
So one of the German company commanders, a major or Oberst as he's called in German,
Right.
he was leading the advance.
Right.
And his orders were get to the home bank of the Seine and secure the home bank for the
Right.
follow-up echelons to come and cross that river. Right?
Right.
Because they were quite sure that the bridge would be blown.
Right.
As luck would have it, when
Right.
that German company, reached the Seine River, they found the bridge totally intact.
Right.
It had been wired for blowing up, but they hadn't
Right.
demolished it. So the
Right.
second lieutenant, he came up to his major, his Oberst,
Huh.
the Herr Oberst, that
Huh.
bridge is intact. Just
Huh.
give me the orders, I'll just go and rush to the other side and secure it.
Right.
He said, boy, that's the difference between you with 2 years service and me with 20. Right?
Uh-huh.
What are my
Uh-huh.
orders? Have you seen these orders? The orders are to secure the home bank. The orders are
Uh-huh.
to stick to the home bank. I order you to go across and they blow the bridge with you on it. And the whole platoon would be gone. No, my boy, I'll follow my orders.
Okay.
And I will not go beyond the home bank. So he secured the home bank. You know
Right.
that the German army court-martialed him, and you know for what? For obeying orders. Have you got me, Mukesh? Have you got the joke? The German army court-martialed him for obeying
Right.
orders.
Right.
And in his court-martial, the orders used to be signed for a field officer by the
Right.
Kaiser himself. You know
Right.
what the Kaiser wrote there?
Right.
Kaiser did not make you a field officer so that you would not know when not to obey orders. You get an opportunity, take it with both hands, boy. Further the
Right.
intent of your higher commander. The intent is
Right.
Paris.
Right.
Don't stop at the CN if you get a chance to cross it. If things don't go
Well
by
said.
the
Well said.
by the book,
Yeah.
cross it. So
Right. Right.
and I will just sum up. And a very
Right.
offensive philosophy,
Right.
as a very offensive philosophy, the Israelis exemplify
Right.
that philosophy. They have
Okay.
commandments for their young officers. You know what is the
Right.
first commandment? Attack, attack, attack.
Okay.
In the attack, risk, risk, risk.
Uh-huh.
Remember, the nearest way to safety is always via the enemy's hill, right?
Uh-huh.
When in doubt, hit out. When in
Okay.
doubt, hit out. Next
uh.
commandment, when orders don't get through, presume what they would be and act accordingly.
Right.
This is unleashing initiative. This is unleashing, empowering your command, freeing them of
Yeah.
fear
Yeah.
of failure.
So sometimes, we suffer with the same thing in the corporate world also. What happens is that the leader is sitting at the back, and the person in the front line, he knows the real, parameters, but he is not empowered enough to act. And as a consequence, what happens is that the organization is not able to kind of capitalize on the situation because they haven't empowered that person adequately. So delegation is another very, very important distinct part of it. What I hear you say. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Good
Right.
armies. In good
Right.
armies, you empower your subordinates. You
Right.
give them the freedom to fail.
Right.
The whole, deciding mantra is, look, buddy, as long as your heart was in the right place and you
Right.
did more than you were told, don't
Right.
worry if you go wrong, we will back you up. We'll back
Right.
you up because you may not
Right.
work once time, second, third
Right.
time, you are the boy we need. You
Right.
are the brave boy we need. We don't need mules which we have
Right.
to kick. We need
Right.
great stallions which have
Right.
to be pulled back. You
Right.
know,
Right.
a great horse never gets number two in the line. You know, it's
Right.
always prancing to get ahead. We've all done horse riding in the
Right.
academies. So
Right.
we don't want dead mules who have
Right.
to be kicked and pushed to deliver. You know,
Right.
we want noble stallions that will bolt with a
Yeah.
bit. You know,
That's
so
right.
you must
That's right.
empower your subordinates. You
That's
must
right.
give them the freedom to fail.
Right.
That means, you know, they must understand. You know, there was a
Yeah.
Japanese friend of mine, you know,
Uh,
and he told me that a
uh,
good Japanese boss is one
uh.
who tells his subordinate what he wants without speaking. A good Japanese subordinate is
Really?
one who
Like,
understands what his boss wants without telling. You know, so there is that connect that the
that's right.
organizational philosophy is so good that they
No,
all
that's
know
right.
what is to be
They
done.
know they've
And
been
the
working together,
seniors
so they know.
trust their subordinates, the
That's right.
subordinates have faith in their seniors that they
That's
will
right.
back us and they will
That's
empower us to deliver
that's right.
results
That's right.
more than were planned for
Right.
initially.
Right. 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 No, no. I think you've given us a lot of food for thought in terms of what you said. Is there anything else? I know that you're looking at your watch for because you have another very critical this thing to go.
Yes.
Is there some kind of some closing comments that you'd like to give to our audience here before you before
Yes,
we see
yes.
you on TV? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to head for
Yes,
Republic
sir.
with Bharat, Republic Bharat. But
Yes.
let me tell you
Yeah.
one thing. You
Yeah.
know, when I joined my unit, I had a
Right.
34-year-old battalion commander. Now, the late
Okay.
Brigadier Harshpati Thaplyal, unfortunately, he is no more. You are one of the
Right.
greatest tigers I have seen in my life. You know, your first commanding
Uh-huh.
officer always leaves a big impact on you. Your
Right.
first manager leaves a big impact on you. And a lot of what you
Right.
learn is from him, you know. So
Right.
he used to interview every youngster coming together. And he gave me, you
Right.
know, he briefed me personally on what he wanted. And those are not
Uh,
textbook cliches
uh,
picked up from this management book or that management book, but from his life experience. You know, and he
right.
gave me notes for Second Lieutenant G.D. Bakshi on joining the battalion. You know, Mukesh, I still have them. And I read
Okay.
them out sometimes to
Really?
all managers, you know, all managers that I
Maybe
ever meet.
you
You
need
know
to
what was
share
the
that with
first
us.
the
Uh,
first commandment that he gave to me was be sincere in all that you do.
right.
Sincerity is transparent. It
Right.
cannot be faked. If in an
Uh-huh.
organization you get that reputation, he's a damn
That's right.
sincere guy. You give him a
That's right.
work and you can forget about it. That boy will not go home. He'll slog the night. He'll burn
That's right.
midnight oil, but tomorrow morning he will deliver. He
Yeah.
is sincere. A
Yeah.
sincere person is a great work of God, you know, really,
That's
honestly.
right.
And
That's
let
right.
me tell you, you know,
Yes.
my experience in life actually has been the eighty
Right.
20 rule works. It is
Right.
20% of the people who run an organization,
Right.
80% of us are passengers. You know, so
Uh-huh.
so be
Right.
be those 20% who run that organization. Be sincere. The second
Right.
thing that he told me is, and
Right.
I quote to you,
Right.
be enthusiastic in all that you do.
Uh-huh.
Any task given to you, the most mundane, the most humdrum, and you may
Right.
think you were made for better things. Why the hell has my boss given me this? Be enthusiastic in all that you do.
Hmm.
Enthusiasm is infectious.
Hmm.
Enthusiasm is the God within. The word enthusiasm comes
Yeah.
from the Greek word enthu. Enthu means
Yeah.
the God within.
Yeah.
So be
Yeah.
sincere, be
Right.
enthusiastic. You
Right.
won half the battle.
I can
You
see
won
those
half the
words have
battle.
stayed with you so well because we are also enthused and we can hear it in
So,
your voice.
God
The
bless
manner
you.
in which you are able to enthuse all of us. The entire, public is so kind of riveted to the television when you speak, you know. And I think, the other part that you said to be trustworthy and be this thing, that's how
Sincere.
what you have to be sincere and trustworthy are very, very basic these things that, any relationship runs on that. So that is very well said, sir. Very well, sir. No, thank you very much.
At the end, Mukesh, may I
Yes.
thank you. It's been a very nostalgic journey. In you, I see Arun.
No, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
I
much
see
for coming
my
on the program.
batchmate. I see my coursemate,
Yes.
and a lot of memories come over.
Yes.
God bless you. God bless him. He was one of
Yeah.
the greatest boys in our batch. He was the epitome of what leadership is all about. He lived it. He died following the tenets of what was taught to him in the NDA, in the IMA, in the 17 Pune Horse, Fakhre Hind, the pride of India. The pride of India, as the Pakistanis called it. I thank you all for that very patient hearing, very
No,
patient
no.
listening.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless
It's
you
been a
all.
very enlightening
And
session, sir. And we wish you well. Keep the flag flying. Keep it going, sir. We look forward to hearing you on television. We are, so honored, that you are, doing a great job. And you keep doing what you're saying. Keep bashing. You know. Thank
bash
you
on
so much.
regardless. God bless.
Thank
Jai
you.
Hind.
Thank you. So we will say, bye bye to, General Bakshi. Thank you so much.
बेटा पूर्णिमा इसको कैसे ऑफ करेंगे?
Yeah. Well, we will carry on this discussion somewhat. I will try and leave off. Where with something, since I also come somewhat from an armed forces background. I just share with you. My brother. As General Bakshi just told you. Died in battle. At the age of 21, and he was part of a regiment called the Pune Horse. Now, I visit the Pune Horse, very regularly. They're part of family to me. But I must share with you, what is it that the youngster, why is it that he becomes what he is, the kind of person that he is willing to go to battle and, and climb that hilltop when people are shooting down from there. Pune Horse, if I may say, is a very, recognized, regiment, where perhaps one of the bravest regiments in the country. It's about close to they'll be celebrating their 200th year next year sometime, and they have many battle orders to their credit. But what happens? What happens is that when a regiment goes there, if you go to their mess, they've got trophies from 100 years ago. They've got kind of bayonets and they've got flags and they've got various kind of things that they've collected. And when a young officer joins that regiment, guess where his kind of induction starts? He is taken from trophy to trophy, and every single trophy, what is the story behind that trophy is explained to that young man. In this battle in the year 1892. Okay, this is the battle that we fought, and this is the victory that we did, and this is what happened, and this is the sequence. And then he goes on to another trophy, another trophy, another trophy. So actually, at the end of it, this young man, he knows the entire story, and the story is told by one senior officer, of the regiment. And it is not only him. Okay, let me tell you, even their veterans, even their wives, they are taken through that same experience. They are shown what is it that has made that regiment. So actually, at the end of a 3-month period or 6-month period, this young man is so filled with the glory that the regiment has earned in the last 200 years. And hence, when he steps out and has to go to war, he carries that glory on his shoulders and on his brave chest. And that is what is another thing, General Saab was talking about the izzat of the Paltan. That is the izzat of the Paltan. That is that flag, that is the story that has been imbibed in it. He would not even think twice before letting down the izzat of that regiment. Now that is the kind of ethos that the armed forces imbibes. I only wish sometimes that I've spent all my time in the corporate world. I only wish sometimes, just sometimes, that some of the people in the corporate world could imbibe some little character in terms of how they do it. It doesn't happen on its own. It is a well orchestrated way in which they are able to kind of instill in that young man to go out and climb that hill and go and take that post no matter what. I wish we in the civil street could perhaps take something in the corporate world about team building. Now, this is something that, I mean, we if we are able to imbibe, I'm sure we will. Sorry, I got a little carried away with what, General had just said. But that is the story of how we should be proud of our armed forces, not only for what they're doing, but I think we all in the civil street need to kind of learn a lot of what is it that this armed forces of our country, how is it that they are able to build that character, that josh, that ability to go out and do what you want to do and nothing can stop you. I will therefore not, try and, stretch this discussion more. But I would think that, tonight when you go to bed, just sleep over what General Bakshi has shared with us. I do think that, the armed forces is doing a great job. And despite various limitations, they sleep in tents, they go to, they're in the snow, they're in the rain, they're kind of in the jungle, they kind of, go through extreme hardship, and they don't get paid as much as what we guys get paid in the civilian world.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so let me just leave it at that. Okay. We are very happy that General Bakshi was there, and I kind of, salute him. He happened to be a colleague of my brother's. It is an honor, of course, and General Bakshi's flight Nancy. Okay, we will just, on that note, we will kind of, I don't think, if there are any questions, since General is not here, and I may not be the most competent person to handle some of those questions, because he's the person who was, the authority on this. I'll only end by saying something. You see, we've been doing this Dhaka series for a bit now. This is perhaps the 6th program that we are running. Okay,
Right.
we ran we run a series on programs on leadership. We've run some series of programs on sales and branding. Our purpose is that we hope you get better in what you're doing. Okay, we are trying to improve your capabilities so that you become enriched and get inspired to, go further and do more and become a respected member of of the corporate world. However, I will again end by saying that, these sessions that we are doing for you are 1 hour duration. Now, General Bakshi, can be available to us, and there'll be other personalities that will be similarly, coming on our programs, which we do every Friday. And I hope you like the programs, because I can see many people are, participants are familiar faces by now. Okay. But if you want to know more about these programs, we have decided, and tomorrow morning we will post on our site. You need to register yourself on the site because we're missing some of your information. Okay, if you're not on the Dhaka site, we are not able to kind of communicate with you. So I would request you to put your email IDs before you disconnect today, so that we can reach out to you. But we want to reach out to you to offer you a more detailed and more deeper program of engagement. These programs, you are going to have 2 types of programs that we're going to offer for you. One is a sales and marketing program. There are going to be 6 sessions on that program. Each session will be of roughly about 90 minutes duration. We will input you on a week-to-week basis and also introduce you to other members of the industry, who you would like to interface with so that you can learn. Similarly, we're going to offer you 6 programs, 6 leadership programs. And on the leadership program also, we are, each of going to be 90 to 100 minutes duration. And where we will input you on how you can become a better leader for the position that you hold. Now, if you're going to kind of do that, there will be a small charge. Whereas the price of that, is fairly steep. Normally a 6 package session will cost you 5,000 rupees. However, for the participants of this program, we're going to price it at a competitive price of 3,000 rupees. If you are interested in participating in either the leadership program or the sales program or both programs, then kindly kind of indicate your interest on this thing. We've got your email IDs. Thank you for sharing your email IDs. We will reach out to you and we will try and put you onto the the Dhakar app, so that you are able to kind of keep connected with you, and we can share more information about these programs with you. And if you want to register, you're most welcome. Starting from next week itself, we're going to roll out these programs. So we look forward to your participating with this. In the meantime, the Dhakar series will carry on. We will continue to bash forward and bring more and more exciting programs for you. But largely the programs will be confined on leadership and on sales and marketing. Those are our two prime areas where we will keep our focus on. So thank you so much for being on the program. I wish you all stay safe. The coronavirus is here. Okay, don't take any chances. So I would look forward to interacting with you. So let's stay in touch, and good night, and happy, have a happy evening, tonight.
Thank you.
I hope you're enthused with General Bakshi's, talk to us today. We will get more exciting speakers for you, as we go along week to week. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much, sir. Thank you very much. It was very insightful, and I was really, excited about the whole thing. I am very happy to see you again, and I am sure that next Friday again we will see each other on the same platform with the same enthusiasm. I wish everybody a very good night, and it is a Friday, so let's enjoy the rest of the evening. Jai Hind, and bye bye.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.